A warm welcome to you, our viewers, to this edition of the news with me, Sarashan Hori. We'll begin with the headlines. Prime Minister Justin Nsengiyumva has visited developmental projects in Nyagatare district, that's in the eastern province. A fire has damaged 3 facilities in the Kigali Special Economic Zone. Now straight to the details. Prime Minister Dr. Justin Nsengiyumva has called for the accelerated construction of the Muvumba multipurpose dam in Nyagatare district so that its intended beneficiaries can begin reaping its benefits. He made the call on Saturday while touring major projects focused on addressing the impacts of climate change and increasing agricultural and livestock productivity in parts of the eastern province. Construction of the dam began at the end of 2023, and it is one of the major projects planned by the government of Rwanda to address challenges including water shortages and promote irrigated agriculture. The dam will have the capacity to store up to 55 million cubic meters of water. It is now 61.5% complete, but has fallen behind on schedule. Officials at the Rwanda Water Resources Development Board have explained to the Prime Minister that periods of heavy rainfall have been among the major obstacles affecting the implementation of the project, but added that measures have been put in place to address the challenge.
And in this phase, where the construction started by 2023, we are planning to complete it by March 27. Currently, we are at 61.5% of execution. We have short delays of around 6% that we are planning to catch up, especially with this dry season, because that's where we can maximize the earthwork component, which is the compaction of the dam, because it's a net dam. During this dry season, we have increased the number of staff, the number of equipment, mainly the trucks. We are about 88. We have added like 32 more trucks, and we will be like 88 trucks helping to do the earthwork. And more like the Chinese company has accepted to bring 10 more trucks. So we are trying to optimize the execution of this first phase.
To support the project, the African Development Bank recently approved an additional grant of 45.4 million euros, bringing the total project cost to 116 million euros. The Prime Minister also visited the Gabiro Agribusiness Hub, where there he held discussions with investors operating in the area, urging them to increase their production while assuring them that the government will continue working to resolve the challenges that they face. Now, the Rwanda National Police is urging business owners and the general public at large to remain vigilant against the hazards of fire following a blaze that broke out early Saturday morning in the Kigali Special Economic Zone. The fire damaged 3 facilities in the zone. Enora Gladys with more on that.
3 facilities were affected by the fire in Kigali Special Economic Zone: Masaka Farms, a dairy processing factory, a warehouse storing agricultural supplies, including fertilizers and pesticides, and another warehouse containing assorted goods. Officials at the affected companies say the cause of the fire has not yet been established and are awaiting the outcome of investigations by the relevant authorities.
We are dealing with agriculture or the fertilizers and all this. Some of them they are flammable, where they catch fire fast. So that's why the fire was very fierce and it was very strong. Very easy to establish the loss, but it will be ranging between $6 to $10 million.
So far, we thank God that all our people are safe. At the moment, we have left the matter to the security authorities so that they can carry out their work, after which we will assess the damage and prepare a report on the losses.
Representatives of the affected companies held security personnel and emergency response teams for the swift intervention, saying their efforts prevented the fire from spreading to neighboring factories and causing even greater damage.
When this report went out there, the police came in and other bodies, they were responsive within a very short time. Initially, there was not many trucks for water or the firefighter, but the support was good.
Rwanda National Police spokesperson ACP Boniface Rutikanga confirmed that no injuries were reported in the incident. He expressed sympathy to those who suffered property losses and urged factory owners and the public to strengthen fire prevention measures.
At this point, the damage consists mainly of goods that were about to be taken to the market, which were destroyed in the fire. We extend our sympathies to anyone who suffered losses as a result of this fire. Going forward, it is important that we install fire detection devices that can identify early signs of a fire and immediately send out an alert so that people are aware of the danger and emergency responders can intervene quickly before extensive damage occurs. We should also ensure that equipment or materials that could cause fires are kept at a safe distance to prevent both property damage and loss of life. Everyone, wherever they are, should keep these precautions in mind and make sure that anything that could start a fire is identified and addressed before it leads to an incident.
The Rwanda National Police have launched an investigation to establish the cause of the fire as damage assessments continue at the affected facilities. Enora Gladys, RwandaTV News.
The Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee has called upon district authorities and district hospitals to strengthen their collaboration in order to avoid recurring cases of the mismanagement of public funds, long outstanding debts owed by Ngarama Hospital in Gatsibo district, as well as debts the hospital itself owes others, are among the issues that have been highlighted on multiple occasions by the Auditor General. There is also medical equipment worth 201 million francs at Rwanda Hospital in Kayonza district that has been out of service for a long time without being repaired. PAC considers such issues, along with others identified in the districts of Gakenke and Bugesera, to be the result of inadequate coordination between district authorities and the hospitals under their jurisdiction. The Executive Secretary of the Eastern Province, Dr. Jean Nyirahabimana, has given assurances that the province will support affected districts and hospitals in addressing the recurring shortcomings that have been identified. Now, on Saturday, PAC heard explanations from Ngarama and Rwanda hospitals, as well as officials from Gakenke and Bugesera districts regarding the irregularities identified by the Auditor General in the 2024-2025 fiscal year audit. Sudanese nationals living here in Rwanda have noted that fostering unity and working together as African countries is key to advancing the continent's development and building a sustainable future for all Africans. They made their remarks after attending a discussion organized by the Rwanda chapter of the Pan-African Movement. The discussions focused on the origins of Africa's liberation movement and Rwanda's reconstruction journey following the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. Young people from Sudan acknowledged that the discussions had deepened their understanding that unity is essential for enabling them to contribute to Africa's development.
For today, I learned that Africa will never be united unless people sit thinking and see the problem and how to solve it.
I think the main thing that I'm going to take back home is the sense of unity and the passion to see Africa as one unit and to move forward, because I believe that we all support each other, and in that type of support is what can move us forward.
The first thing that we have to be united as African countries. We have to work hard, we have to put our hand together, and we really have a lot of leaders, and we have to build ourselves and our brothers and young child to be leader for the future.
Sudan's ambassador to Rwanda, His Excellency Khalid Musa Dafala Musa, pointed out that the discussions provided an important opportunity to help young people to better understand the importance of African unity and self-reliance.
Appreciate highly the contribution of the Pan-African Movement Rwanda chapter. Appreciate the effort, the leadership, the vision, which inspired by the leadership model of His Excellency President Paul Kagame and the values that he always explained to the people of Rwanda and to Africa. This event, it is a collaboration and partnership between the Sudanese community and the Pan-African Movement. That is, we are launching this partnership project for many reasons, but the most important one is that we would like to learn from the good practices. We would like for our young people and students to get in this partnership, to learn from Rwanda, and to get this Pan-African movement values, because they are future leaders as young people, and there will be cultural bridge between Sudan and Rwanda at this moment.
More than 200 Sudanese nationals attended the discussions, including students from various universities, staff members of the Sudanese embassy, and investors doing business here in Rwanda. Now, nutrition experts are advising people to exercise regularly and undergo routine health checkups to help prevent obesity. This comes as the 2025 Rwanda Demographic and Health Survey found that 35% of women aged between 20 and 49 in the country are obese. Findings also showed that 21.1% of girls aged between 15 and 19 are also obese. Among males, 1.5% of boys aged 15 to 19 are obese, and so are men aged between 20 and 49, with the figure for them at 12%. The experts say obesity among women is largely driven by lifestyle factors, changes in the body's metabolism and functioning, as well as misconceptions about healthy living. They warn that being obese has numerous adverse effects on health and may also affect the health of the children a woman may later give birth to. According to the World Health Organization, 1 in 8 people worldwide was living with obesity in 2022. The organization also reports that in 2024, approximately 35 million children under the age of 5 around the world were overweight. Now, investors here in Rwanda, particularly in the manufacturing sector, along with economic analysts, agree that the country's industrial sector has grown significantly over the past 32 years. They add that the sector is well positioned to become one of the leading contributors to the country's gross domestic product in the years ahead, thanks to the substantial investments that have been made in its development. Foreign investors are particularly satisfied with the country's business environment.
The ease of operating in this country, the ease of doing business in this country has been actually so helpful, and also to add to it that there is an exceptional waiver that the government has given us since we are developing and producing electrical vehicles on the road. That has helped a lot. So I would say the regulatory approach, which is very transparent, very progressive, the government has been more than helpful to us in trying to expand operations, because as you would understand, this is a very capital intensive sector. So before investing, an investor definitely has to look at the socio-economical progress, the comfort of doing business, the ease of doing operations here. So all of that has helped us immensely, and that's why we are growing by leaps and bounds in this country.
Nathan Gashaisha observed that Rwanda has invested heavily in rebuilding and developing the manufacturing sector, adding that the time has now come for those investments to generate a greater contribution to the country's gross domestic product.
See them as a precursor for economic transformation. First of all, when you see how the industrial parks expansion has been distributed in the whole country, having Kigali Special Economic Zone as a special hub, targeting high-end investors, having also other provincial industrial zones in Nyabihu, in Nyagatare, in Musanze, in Rwamagana, in Muhanga. You see now that the economy, the industrial parks expansion is giving it that picture that there is equal distribution of opportunities, jobs creation across the entire country, and this also helps the growth of secondary cities and therefore curbing down on rural to urban migration. When you hear Africa Continental Free Trade Area and its benefit around it, take it in one word, in one sentence, you understand one single expanded market. And that expanded market has a meaning on Rwandan economy. That means if we attract investors who are in manufacturing sector, and they work and they establish their manufacturing farms in Rwanda, they are manufacturing goods not only for the Rwandan market, but for the entire African market. And this means a lot to the people who are producing. Imagine if you are an investor and looking at the entire Africa, then you can see an expanded market. And how will this expanded market be achieved, or how the opportunities will be cherished? Look at the elimination of barriers along the borders, the non-tariff barriers, the connectivity. You see, the online connectivity, the digital platforms that bring all African economies together, the payment systems. We have Pan-African payment systems. So I see the Continental Free Trade Area as a bigger market, giving opportunities for Africans, and for those establishing the industrial farms in Rwanda, or factories and the like, I see them now getting this opportunity to sell across the African market.
The expert also believes Rwanda made the right decision by giving priority to security and expanding infrastructure, saying the initiatives have attracted significant levels of investor confidence, particularly from international manufacturers.
I know the continental pharmaceutical industries coming here in Rwanda, the biotechnology, the vaccine manufacturing, the number of continental agencies coming to Rwanda. And what does this mean to Rwanda? One, that is a good signal of good leadership. The leadership of His Excellency President Paul Kagame has proved it right, that the trust the entire continental leaders have in him have made good decisions to bring those industries here. Number two, I see this as when you see continental initiatives coming over in Rwanda, copper pharma, I mean, expansion of medical products being produced here. You see now employment being created here. We see Africa citizens being the image being depicted here. You see the economic diplomacy being played here. And that means that our leadership is putting Rwanda in the forefront in the negotiation fora, and therefore being able to attract continental agencies to have their startups here. And it's a good image of transformation, both economically, socially, and the whole trust.
Rwanda's manufacturing sector now extends far beyond agricultural processing, as we just heard. It also includes advanced medical technology and pharmaceutical production, vehicle manufacturing, the production of information and communications technology equipment, as well as steel manufacturing, and the production of construction materials. And the country now has 11 industrial parks. Currently, the manufacturing sector contributes 22% of Rwanda's GDP. However, many of the country's factories are still relatively young, having been established less than 5 years ago. Overall, Rwanda's manufacturing sector is growing at an annual rate of 11%, with many of its subsectors continuing to expand as investment increases. That's it for now. As always, it's been a pleasure. Until I see you again, it is goodbye from me.